Oh boy, what's going on, man? Here we are. In the background, you can see the Mount Hope North Providence game, and Mount Hope really turned things punt return. This was a good program, and I started off with this game, because there's a lot of things with the RPI standings. Look at that, right between everybody. Nothing they can do with this ball. You know what I mean? Handling his business. Man, a lot of smoke your boy was getting today, man, for not putting out accurate information with the RAIL points. Hey, that looks like Coach Fortin, doesn't it? Look at that. Shout out to Coach Fortin. That definitely looks like Coach Fortin. But now I know that the Mount Hope Huskies was hoping that Monday or Tuesday they were going to go to RAIL. I got a message saying that Mount Hope, they were saying that they should be the number 1 and 2 seed. And this is a problem that Central High School had with a couple of their games, and it really comes down to the athletic director of Mount Hope, of Central, and probably with a lot of programs. See, the athletic director is supposed to declare certain games so you can get the points. And that's why I think Mount Hope is going to be the number 5 seed. We're going to bring all that up for you. What's going on, everybody, man? Yep. RAIL had a problem getting the final numbers correct for the points and everything to see who lined up where. But what are we thinking of the RPI system? And I also found a video talking about the comedian the other day and an island of trash that I thought was pretty interesting. I didn't know that Puerto Rico on the island, there's landfills everywhere, and because of all the hurricanes, debris just keeps washing up onto Puerto Rico. So there was a lot more reasons with the island of trash comment, but I think we should get out there and vote. You know what I mean? I invited a couple of coaches on, but I'm going to take the time to share this. Check out a little bit of this game right here. And we're going to break down some of the RPI. We're going to break down the Division 1. What's going on over there? It looks like it's going to be Bishop Hendrickens going to play Cumberland. LaSalle and St. Ray's. That's going to be the state championship division. I'm a one-man band. I don't always get shit right. But I try to. I try to get it right as much as I can. That Central Burrville game, man, what happened over there? We never expected a 28-0 victory. I mean, I expected Burrville to come out ahead of Central. I know what Central's working with this year. I know what Burrville is working with this year as well. And it's just the kids are totally different. We're not getting the same. We're not getting kids that want to play football at all. But let me get this going up on here. I want to make sure that I have volume. Does everybody hear me? Let me see. I've got to make sure that we have volume here. Shout out to Dan Cole, Amy Winthrop, Chris Webster. A lot of people that stayed involved. Stephen Musco, shout out to him. Shout out to Joe Giacomo. I don't understand why a Division II team is playing D1 teams, then separate brackets for 2 state championships. Once again, RAIL is ruining the competition for the kids. Can't say I disagree with that at all. Can't say I disagree with that at all. But give me a minute because I'm trying to find this stuff. I just wanted to make sure we had volume, we had all of that. So let me put it out there. We live, we live, we live. We are live. So Mount Hope was hoping that they would have got the number 1 or 2 seed, and Mount Hope might have got the 1 or 2 in Division 3. But I guess what Mount Hope didn't do, and there was other programs that failed to do this. The athletic director needed to um, needed to qualify certain games as like league games or tournament games, however you wanna call it. And the Mount Hope athletic director did not do that. I know the Central athletic director was also supposed to declare certain games. Shout out to Melissa Harrison. How are we doing, man? Welcome to the stream. But we got this RPI. A lot of people may disagree. That was totally overdrawn. A lot of people might disagree with the RPI, but if we look going into week 8, in which I keep trying to pull these pull a few images up, but if we look at week 8 going into these games, I mean, you look at Division 1, you had Cumberland and Barrington, or was it no St. Ray's and Barrington, Cumberland and K that were going at it, Central and Burrillville, like all them games could have switched things around drastically. And originally we had NK up inside the 4. A lot of people came down on myself for that, and you know what? I'll take the heat, but I just was bringing to the people what RAIL was putting out there. So if people, I'll take the heat if they want to come down on me. That is cool, but just bear with me for a minute. Bear with me. But Division 1, we know for sure that we have Bishop Hendricken and Cumberland, LaSalle, and St. Ray's that are in the Division 1 state championship bracket. Now, all right, here we go. Brands. I'm just trying to get this stuff loaded up. And I'm also going to show you the league. While I do that, I'm also going to show you the league breakdown, and I'll also post the rules so you can see how this is all done. But Ponagansett wants to know, when they had a head-to-head with Pilgrim, they beat Pilgrim. How does Pilgrim come out ahead? And I think because Blake Simpson played the money game, he played the long game, and he played up a division. And the way it's going, even though you're gonna lose, even though you are gonna lose on these games, the strength of schedule gets higher, and you're getting points on the back end. And that's what Blake Simpson was basically doing. He played that game. He knew, if I played up a division, and even though I don't win, I think Westerly did the same thing as well. But we had some good games, man. East Providence holds on to do what they were doing, shutting out mad teams. They ended the season knocking Tolman out the playoffs and adding another shutout game. East Providence had to have more shutouts than any program in the state. Oh, look at that. 42. Oh, I thought 42 had the ball. Pretty good play over there. Pretty good play. Let me see. Photo library. What do we have here? I'll just put a bunch of these things in there. If I even have room. Do I not have the same game wiki playoffs? Okay, here we go. Now I should be in the right damn room. All right, here we go. I was in the wrong damn room. Okay, so if we look right here on this is going to be for the Rhode Island State Championship. Bishop Hendricken is going to play 4, which is Cumberland. LaSalle is going to play St. Ray's, and the winner of them games will advance to the Rhode Island State Championship game. In the Division One Championship Bowl, I mean, is it disrespectful to call it the Consolation Bowl? North Kingstown had the bye, and Central has the bye, being the 6th seed. We had it backwards earlier. We had Central the 5 seed. We had NK with the 6 seed. But RAIL had to get all that straightened out. And I guess there was a problem the way Max Preps figures out their points and the way RAIL calculates their point with the out-of-state games. That is where the problem was. But some scores: East Providence defeated Tolman 34-0. Situate beats Hope St. Patrick's Co-op 48-12. Burrville shuts out Central 28. Some controversy in that game, about a player returning. Players get injured. Who makes the decision whether a player can come back into the game after that player is hurt? If a player is deemed unconscious and there's no medical trainer there, staff, can the referee in and say that player come in? Who can clear if that player can come back into the game? But we definitely had some situations go on at the Burrville Central game, but I'm glad that game. But Portsmouth, a lot of people are like crazy guys at Portsmouth. Hendricken. Who would have thought that they would have knocked off Hendricken? But the Scholastic League State Championship is definitely going to heat up as we get into the next week. There's no buys for this, so it's going to gear up for some great games. The higher seed venues, these matchups are going to be great competition. You don't think the Burrville Barrington game is going to be exciting, or the Portsmouth Cranston West game is going to be exciting? The winner of them games, the winner of that one's going to move on and play NK. I think Portsmouth is going to beat Cranston West. And I also think Burrville is going to hold on to beat Barrington. Burrville has a tough group of kids. Logan Jelinas, look back a couple of years ago, his older brother Jake. Brandon DeCharo, that was younger brother Jack DeCharo, is stepping up. Like, Burrville definitely has some dogs. But in game 1, Hendy's going to take on Cumberland in what promises to be such a clash. Bishop Hendricken, some people say it's a Tesla. I also heard that there's a few kids that might, a lot of kids are transferring out of the school. It's just insane what's going on. Public school, private school. There's a big divide. There's a big divide in these programs. Give me a minute while I pull up some other things. Okay, and this was the one that we had. This was coming out of last week, so you can see where the numbers basically jump. Well, let me go ahead and pull up the RAIL website. I'm gonna put the game on while I do that. I'll even give you a little volume because I don't think they will be reporting me. Hope not.
And lining up the extra points.
I thought Mount Hope had a touchdown on the first drive.
Yeah, the kick is up, and it is no good. Wide left, so 6-0 in favor of the visitors. The North Providence Cougars striking first here.
All right, give me a minute. Watch this game. I just want to get everything ready.
Just misleft there. I had to wait for the ref just like you did. Couldn't tell if it made it in.
Windy here. It is windy, and that wind is blowing from right to left on your screen. Might have impacted a little bit as he hooked it. So North Providence still in hopes of getting into the playoffs here with a 3-3 record. They've really been in every game except for the last game they had 6 turnovers in. But they have been close in every one.
Yeah, an impressive drive there to start the game. Took up a lot of time. You can see the clock got 4:02 left in the first quarter. The thing that I think is separating North Providence from Mount Hope right now is both teams able to move the ball. North Providence a little bit less penalized on that drive. Didn't really shoot themselves in the foot the same way Mount Hope did. So we'll see if Mount Hope can get it together as they await this kickoff.
Cooper Weston kicks it down the field, and will be picked up at the 20-yard line. Spin, and then penalty flag flies as that goes out of bounds.
And listen, if you want to come on the show, if you got something you want to say, you want to talk about what's going on, I put the link inside the comment section, which here it is. Just copy and paste that link. It'll put you into the backstage, and I should be able to see you, and I'll pull you in. Just keep it clean, no foul language, and let's talk some football.
Against North Providence.
The 5-yard face mask penalty.
But what I said earlier is as we dive deeper into the season, I wanted to present the correct information for the standings for all the divisions.
Yeah, impressive little return.
But rely on it the scholastically standings, if they're inaccurate, I guess you can point the finger at me, I said, because that seems to be the trend today.
Sideline, oftentimes you spin off a couple guys and they're grabbing for anything they can.
On first down.
That seemed to be the trend. But I got to pull up RAIL 1 second.
There. Back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
We're going to see what RAIL has.
Well, that's what North Providence needs to do. They need to meet Pimentel at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be tough to tackle.
Okay, here we are. Let's see what RAIL actually let's see what they actually have for points. And I think they also break down the okay, let's see. We go over here. I'm not even sure if this stuff got updated yet. So let's look all divisions first, right? Let's see. Now, this is just all divisions. You can get up on the screen. Bishop Hendricken, LaSalle. See, they still have North Kingstown in 4th, which is kind of crazy because it changed everywhere else. And even on the championship ones, they actually have, see, they still have. Okay, yes, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, see, Cumberland should be. See, this is crazy. Cumberland, it ain't even switching on here. What the frig? What the hell is going on? I don't like that. Why is that not fucking working? See, RAL be crazy. Let me see. Present. Let me get the game back on. What the frig?
On first down. And on the right sides. Picking up 5 yards on the play.
Mount Hope
Give me a minute to figure this out.
Spreading North Providence's defense out there, and then just doing what they do, handing the ball up the middle. This spread attack, even if you're not running the pass game, is a very contemporary style of offense. Instead of putting everyone in the front at the point of attack, you spread them out and give it to your guys in the middle.
2nd and 5. Up the middle once again. Pimentel once again. That's a touchdown. We weren't sure that he had the necessary yardage, but there's the signal. 6 points for the Mount Hope Huskies as they tie this football game with 1:07 to go here in the first quarter.
Well, this is how you answer the bell. I mean, what a drive. They never, I don't think they had any third downs on that drive. It was first and second. Like you said, big chunks of yards and leaning heavy on number 22 there the whole way.
And who's going to kick it? But J.J. Pimentel. There it is. It's up and it's through. So 7-6 now as Mount Hope takes the lead here in the first quarter. Very impressive drive for the Huskies.
That's how you do it. We saw downhill running. We saw a little bit of change-ups, inside handoffs to Reiner, and then finishing it off the way you started out, more downhill running. Finishing the drive at your extra point gives them the lead. It's going to be interesting. I think whether this game's going to be won or lost, what North Providence does on defense. Are they going to bring all those DB types up into the box and risk getting beat over the top of the pass? I think you have to do it because Mount Hope will not pass unless you provoke them. So, you have to gamble. They're up by 1 point, but the impressiveness of that drive has got to scare that North Providence defense coordinator.
We'll see if they tempt them the next time that Mount Hope has the ball. But right now, the kickoff, this ball will roll to the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So, Mount Hope's number 22, J.J. Pimentel, we're told spent a lot of time in the weight room this offseason.
I see. Hold on.
That was his 7th touchdown of the season that he just scored as he came into the game.
Yeah, a special guest we have on. You never know who's going to pop in this damn place. I got to lock these doors. Yo, what's up, Coach?
Going on. How you best, Mike?
Yeah, I got to put my my headphones on.
A lot of good work.
What's going on?
Not much. Just chilling today, watching the games, taking down my Halloween stuff, putting up my Thanksgiving stuff, decorations. Doing my thing.
I hear you. That's what it is, man. I'm watching this game over here at Mount Hope, and Mount Hope has done an exceptional job all season long, basically playing football. Shout out to Shane Parker up there.
Yeah, Shane's doing a good job. I talked to him throughout the year a little bit. I'm glad that he waited to get the job that he wanted. So, and he's taking full advantage of it.
He was definitely patient, waiting for a job, and as you know, you wanted to hire him early on in your career, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out, and other jobs, came forward, and he stayed away from the EWG job after you left. He stayed away from other jobs, and the Mount Hope job opened up, and he stepped into it, and his second year, and they seem to be playing very, very good football.
He wanted that job. That's the job that he wanted. That's the job he waited for. And now he has it, and he's taking full advantage of it.
Now, from what I understand, Mount Hope feels right now that they should be seated number 1 or number 2, and this is where everyone kept saying that I'm so wrong, but all these teams have a difference of opinion about where they should be seated. But Mount Hope's saying that they should be number 1 or number 2. They ended up number 5. From what I'm hearing, that there might be an appeal going in Monday. Not sure if you can even appeal the playoff seeding, but this RPI, man, that's why it got so screwed up.
What the league needs to do is have a clear clarification of how it's going to be ran. How are the points are going to be handled out? Because there's a lot of coaches that, here we are the last week, they don't know their seedings. We should be seeded 1, 2, and they're at the 5 or they're at the 4. If you don't know as a coach and as an administration, as a program, there's something wrong. That means somebody has dropped the ball. I'm not saying the interscholastic league's dropped the ball, but if all the coaches don't know what's going on, then somebody dropped the ball. I'm not a big fan of the RPI, RPL, whatever it is that you want to call it. A win's a win, a loss is a loss. I don't care about points and stuff, but that's the new way they're going. But it's not helping the program. No one knows where they're seated, so it's a guessing game right now. But I think what the interscholastic league should do is next summer make it very clear of how the points are going to be accumulated with wins, losses, and I think some teams better do a better job of handpicking who they want to play, because there's been some embarrassing games. Some programs won big and they shouldn't even been playing that school. I'm not going to say nothing, but I think coaches need to do a better job too.
Well, I don't know if everybody understands it, and from what I understand, that like Coach Blake Simpson, he played the long game. He played up a division, and I guess even though he lost them games, I guess each week a team like Pilgrim is getting, we'll call them quality points, because the team you're playing has a better strength of schedule. So every week Pilgrim's getting points on the back end. Westerly did the same thing. They played Central, Burrville, Portsmouth. So you lost to them 3 games. But now when Portsmouth beat Hendricken the other day, a lot of teams that played Portsmouth got quality points on the back end. Not Hendricken. Westerly played them. Any team that played them ended up getting points, and it helped them out.
Yeah, but and there you go. So in 1 second you're in, I don't know, we'll just say the first seed, because another team played up and that team did good and their opponents did good. Now you drop down to 5. That doesn't even make any sense. But again, I'm not a big fan of it, but it seems like Blake Simpson understands how the rules are. He should come on the podcast and really do a coaches podcast about it next year to inform other coaches, me included, how it really works, for each program.
Well, I offered Blake a chance to come on. I sent him the link, whether he's available or not. I put the link up in the comment section, and I offer anybody a chance to come on. But right now, from what I hear, this is actually Mount Hope's just a very good team. But from what I hear right now, you have Classical in 1, Pilgrim 2nd, Pontigansett in 3rd, Rogers followed by Mount Hope, Johnston, North Providence, Johnston, and Cranston East picking up a playoff game, man. Shout out to Jimmy Cook, and I gotta say, when he ended up losing players for whatever reason, he puts the freshman in and he starts winning games. What's up with that?
Players, if you buy into the system, you play better. So, and I said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll always say it. If a player and players, when they buy into the system, they give it their full attention. That means they practice better, they study better, they watch film better, and then they play better, and they play as a team better. So
Yeah,
that's what you're
you
seeing
see
at
some
Cranston East, that
reverse pivot
these young
inside
kids are
handoffs
getting
where you
better
saw that.
and they're playing. You
You're
should
just
lower that
just
background.
for
It's
some reason
distracting.
doing a little bit of a pirouette
What
before you
the
inside
Oh
game?
yeah, that's all. That's
Oh,
loud.
hold on a
Also
minute.
two
Okay,
minutes left.
okay.
Yeah, don't do that
See,
anymore.
what do I know?
Is that coach speak?
You know what I
Interesting.
mean? I'm just a squirrel
Sometimes
trying to
very
get one
simply
here.
coaching point.
There you go. So yeah, so if you're a young squad and you have an opportunity to play, study, pay attention, come to practice, engage, participate, do all these things, and that's what happened at Cranston East. They took their licks this year. As a young team, they had to get rid of some seniors that didn't want to buy into the system, and the results are sometimes you win, and it's only going to help them, for their next game and the next game after that, Thanksgiving, and see where they make it in the playoffs. But it's really gonna pay dividends for next year. Also, there's gonna be more players in the building going, "Wow, we have a coach that is really putting in the work." I think they got more wins this year than they did in like 6, 7 years combined. So, shout out to Coach Cook and shout out to the players for buying into the system.
No, absolutely. Coach Cook has done. He done what he was able to do over there.
Hmm.
Pick up a couple wins. He beat a real strong Central Falls. And who was the other team he beat?
They just beat East Greenwich.
Hey, so take your hat off to that. And he was able to grab the number 8 spot, and enough to keep him into the playoffs. But when I heard he made the playoffs, I go back to that old Colts video. He's like, playoffs? I don't want to talk stinking playoffs.
Well, I mean, 8 teams in one division. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, if I'm sure 2 wins, 1 win, you don't really want to be in the playoffs going against a team that's undefeated or just with 1 win, kind of unbalanced. But to say you made the playoffs, I guess, no, I guess it's a good thing.
Do we put too many teams into the playoffs in Rhode Island?
Yeah, absolutely. If you
Is
got
it?
put right, if you got 11 teams in a division and you put in 8, just put them all in. Just put them all in. You got a team with 2 wins, and no disrespect to anybody with 2 wins or 1 win. You really a playoff team? And I mean,
Yeah, right. No, and it's kind of like
yeah,
I'll be a
and
little embarrassed.
yeah, it's just not a playoff team. Yeah, you got 1, 2. If you got 1 or 2 wins, you're rebuilding. And what you're gonna do? You're gonna go against a team that's got five wins and 1 loss or 2 losses. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna play, play. But if you're gonna go out there to make the playoffs with 2 wins, what is that really telling you? Telling you the league just wants more teams in the playoffs. Just put them all in. 11 teams in division, you put 8. Just put them all in. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. That's my personal opinion.
And I figured while we have Coach Fulton on here, we'll go over some games that went on this week. East Providence, man, shutting a lot of teams out this season. They started off scraping and they pulled it together. They have a playoff spot. They shut out Tolman. They keep Tolman out of the playoffs, man. What do you think about that game?
East Providence should be doing that. Look at the facility. They got a beautiful facility. They got a lot of kids in the building, so they should be, putting up points, and they should be in the playoffs, and they should be making noise every single year. So I'm glad to see that they're back to their old ways, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs.
The next game, I'm pulling for Situate to go all the way. I am so happy that Situate has been able to build a program because what they had in the past, was pretty tough. And to see a coach come over here and be able to have a nice championship team, I'm rooting for them over Narragansett in Division 4. But they beat Hope St. Patrick's 48-12.
I love what Situate's done. I've been following them for a couple of years. Their coach, weren't very good in the past. This new coaching staff comes in. I believe they used to coach at Shea. I'm not too sure, but they're a good coaching staff. I loved how they built the program within. And I've said this on this podcast. I've said this many times. You have to build within. You have to get these kids to buy into the system. You have to have the kids go into the building and pull more kids out. You have to make it exciting. Do cookouts. Do whatever it is you got to do, and do social media. Do highlight videos. That's what Situate's done. And for the most part, I love all their stuff. I try to, as much as possible, share their stuff on social media. I'm not really on social media that much anymore, but yeah, I love what they're doing, and I hope they take it all. I like my blessing over at Narragansett, but I think what Situate's doing this year, go for it. Hope they take it all. Love what they're doing.
Division One Central, Central needed that win to stay inside the top four. You're going up there, you're playing a tough as nails Burrville Bronco team. They may be small in size amount of players with 25 for Division One, but they shut out Cranston. A player gets hurt, comes back in, questionable calls. They make him sit down. But Burrville and Central, they may meet again in the playoffs. So I mean, I think that was a great Division One matchup. What do you know about them two programs?
Butterville, I've always said they're not really a D1 program. They're just too small, but they compete to the teams that they're supposed to compete with. I would like them to stay in D2, be competitive, make it more safe, make it more enjoyable, I should say, because they can get deep in the playoffs. I don't want to see Butterville playing LaSalle or Butterville playing Hendrick. I don't want to see that. I want them seeing Burrow playing equal teams because they build great quarterbacks over there. For some reason, they just grow them differently in Burrowville. Um, I like Central. Love Coach Washington. A couple years ago, he had that team wilding out. I'm not going to go back to that questionable call against Hendricken, but he's always got his team going. The YouTube channel, that program fired me up to actually have me come back to coaching. But he's Central's always that team that wants to play hard and they're physical. I'm kind of surprised they lost 28-0. I look for them to bounce back and be the hardcore, hard hitting, in your face team.
Central this year just, kids are soft. I mean, I'll say it. They
I ain't
soft
gonna
over there
say
this year.
it.
I'll say it. We go into our next game, a team that you took, the only 6 seed to go to a Super Bowl. EWG puts on 51 over Tollgate, 51-24. Talk about it.
EWG's right now they're finding themselves. I was there. I remember 20 something kids. I built that up to almost 50 kids. Within what? 2 years, we're in the playoffs. 3 years, we're playing for a Super Bowl state championship. So in Division Four, um, when I left, they still had quality, players to continue that trend. All them players are gone. So this is the new breed that's there. I like the quarterback Shadier. I like what I saw him at youth league. So I expect him to do really good, really big things there. The Kowalski kid, I seen him coming up in the ranks when I was the head coach there. He's probably their best player. They got, I think, a couple of wins, but again, your 2 wins, are you really a playoff team? That's this sad end of this number thing. But I'm kind of surprised to see Colgate not really doing well. They went to Warwick School. It's a big school. I'm surprised they didn't do as good as I think they should have been. I don't know if they're going to win or not. Maybe 1 or 0 wins. So it's a shame to see how far Tollgate's dropped.
Yeah, I mean, Tollgate has been a bad program for a while. Matter of fact, Tollgate EWG, they hold a common denominator that both bad programs, and they both have the same coach that coach both programs. Coach Stringfellow, the bad one. So, but one socket man, Charlie Bebo shutting out Tolman, possibly knocking Tolman out of the playoffs. First time Coach DeLawrence don't make the playoffs in a while, but Charlie Bebo, man, keeping it strong up there at Barry Field.
Um, they play Tolman. I thought East Providence played Tolman.
Oh, hold on. You know what? You might be right. I might be wrong again. I'm wrong all day today. Holy shit. Hang on a minute. You're probably right.
I'm always right. Even when I'm
I'm
wrong,
used
I'm
to
right.
being wrong.
But
Oh, I'm sorry, Moses Brown. They shut out Moses Brown, 23-0. Now that's the second week in a row Moses Brown got shut out. Wesley put the 0 up on him last week. One socket finishes them in today, but it's still enough to keep Moses Brown in the playoffs.
always a shout out to my boy over there in Woonsocket, be Charlie. Him and I, every time we see each other, it's never just a quick hello. We're there for an hour. We get into football. We're just two fanatics. But it's good to see him, still continuing to improve that program, and big win against Moses Brown. I don't know Moses Brown all that well, but I thought they would be a little better than they are right now. A couple of losses, a couple of shout-outs. A couple of shout-outs. Yeah, I think I just said that twice. Um, I don't know. We'll see how they do in the playoffs.
It's like Cliffy 2 times.
Cliffy two timers.
Yeah, I mean, he says he means it 2 times. Mount Pleasant and Shea. Now, Mount Pleasant, Jay Addison, shout out to he's a little mad at me because I told everyone he got ejected. But I say, Jay, you gotta be mad at yourself for getting ejected before you even get mad at me. But I also thought Mount Pleasant had a chance to win this game on the strength that Jay Addison was ejected and he wasn't gonna be coaching this game. But Shea puts 43 up on Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant puts 20 on the board. Now Mount Pleasant goes over the season.
Wow.
You don't even know what to say.
I'm surprised. Mount Pleasant. I got a kind heart for Mount Pleasant. I went there in high school. They're always that team that just they bring it. They're fast. They're hard hitting, or they used to be. I don't know if this is the year where all their good players left, and you're dealing with some young players. I don't know what Coach Addison is dealing with over there, but to see them falter like this, a little shocking. Um, Shea. I'm always gonna like Shea only because they're the Raiders. The Shea Raiders. Saying. Um, but I don't know too much about Shea. But it's
You're
good.
so biased.
I'm
Man, you're
biased. Like
so
crazy.
biased.
Absolutely. I'm so biased. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So shout out to the Shea Raiders.
So Mount Pleasant finishes 0-8 on the season. Shea goes 2-6. So hopefully, Coach Addison, can get his head standing up straight and be able to build another program coming into next season, because Mount Pleasant always been, I mean, it is a basketball school, but they always had a good football program,
They
you
did.
know.
We'll see. Maybe he's young. I don't know. So we'd have to look at the roster, talk to him. You got young players. If that's the case, then it makes sense.
Coach McCall, my man at fudging stats. Like, no one does stats better than Coach McCall, but he puts up 45 on Johnston Panthers, a team that you could relate to. You went to school there for a minute, right? Or you coached there?
No, no, I coached there with Coach Estrada. That's where I got started in high school. So Johnston, I'm always rooting for the Panthers. Coach Estrada's he's been coaching I think for 25, right around 25 years. He's a staple in Johnston community. Great, good coach, a better person. Um, anytime I have a question, I call him. He'll answer. Like I said, he got me started, so I'm always got a ear on what's going on with Johnston. To see them losing 45-7, it's a heartbreaker. But and hopefully he could turn it around. And if anybody can, Coach Estrada, he's the guy to do it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're playing a team that went 7-1 on the season. Johnson's 2-6 right now. But you allowed Costco to put up 45 points. And they
Yeah,
limited Johnston to only 7.
yeah. They must have, they played them really good because Johnson can put up some points. I see them putting up 50, 40 points themselves. So it just wasn't Johnston's game. Wasn't their night that night.
Now, another coach that you're familiar with, SK, the man that has about 6 plays in his playbook. They said he didn't really open his playbook up too much against Lincoln. Now, I know Coach Zarella to have about 6, 7 plays in there and basically run plays. And here he didn't open his playbook up much against Lincoln. It's like, whoa, you know, what do you think about that one?
You must be talking about Coach Jerry Zanella.
You know it. How you know?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of plays, but what he does is the plays that he does have, he practices and he runs very well. So, um, you don't run plays to run them right. You run them so you can't do them wrong. So that's what he does, and whatever works, he's gonna keep running. Until you stop it. So if you can't stop the plays, he's just gonna run it to the right, run it to the left, run it up the middle, throw it over your head until you stop it. It looked like Lincoln couldn't stop it, so that's what he did. If it
You
ain't
gotta
broken,
be
don't fix it.
able, yeah, right. You gotta be able to stop it. You gotta
Yeah.
be able to definitely let me make sure no one else signed down here. Yeah, you definitely gotta be able to stop it. Hang on, coach. I'm getting another let's see. Here we go. Had to get some more games up here on the I think I'm running out of space. Now another big game with the RPI, I think in Division 1, Barrington and St. Ray's. I said Barrington early on in the year, not winning a lot of games. I don't even know if they even, I think they might have won one game this season. But in Division 1, everybody makes the playoffs. But St. Ray's, a team loaded with talent, very young, two good quarterbacks. St. Ray's pulls out 27-22 and is able to hold on to a Power 4 spot.
Good. Barrington's they're always playing hard football. So it's good to see them in the playoffs. Or like you just said, everybody makes the playoffs. So, we'll see. I don't really know too much about Barrington, but let's see how they continue playing throughout the playoffs because that's where it counts. Right now you're playing for seeding. All right, the playoffs start. Let's see how you play in the playoffs.
All I know about Barrington and East Providence is growing up from Providence, they said, don't go on that side of the bridge. You know what I mean?
Right,
Don't go to EPs. We
right.
don't want you
Stay over
we don't
here.
want you people over there.
Yeah, go up
You
in
know what I
Feather
mean? The
Hill. You
next
stay on
game,
the hill.
we already talked about. All right, we already did these. East Providence, that one, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. It was this one. All right, this is a game that I am so surprised about, and we're actually waiting for. I think Coach Jeff Piva said he was going to join us. But matter I get this off my chest while he's not online. Tiverton and North Smithfield, man. I'm so surprised. Like North Smithfield, every year, you're rooting for them. And I know they don't have the type of kids that want to play football, but to lose to Tiverton. And I said, Coach, what happened? He said, we lost. I said, I know.
That's what happened.
I'm like, how? What is going on? Tiverton gets knocked off by EWG. A lot of points go up, 7-6. What do you think about these two programs?
Oh wow. I'm surprised North Smithfield lost to Tiverton. Tiverton's they had a strong program a few years back, and they've been trying to rebuild ever since. It's not a big program. It's not a big community there. So getting kids, I know, is tough. So they do the best that they can. And that's all I really know about Tiverton. But North Smithfield, I'm surprised. They got some players there. So I don't know if they're young. I don't know. What's going on with North Smithfield, but I'm sure Potter's probably still scratching his head. That's when you play Tiverton. I hate to say it, it's you have a good chance of winning, not because they're not a good program. It's just they don't have the kids to fill a team to really be as competitive as they once were. So that's shocking. I'm shocked, to be honest with you. So it'd be interesting to see what Coach Pava has to say. It's probably, maybe he went young. He's got young kids, doesn't have a lot of senior leadership. And that's what happens with a lot of small programs. you're gonna take your licks now, but you need that senior leadership that's been in the program 2, 3 years, and that's how you build the program. That's what Situate's done. They took their licks, but now they're senior heavy. Now they're taking advantage of that opportunity, and in their life right now. That maybe that's what's going on in North Smithfield right now.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting them at, like, Mount Hope is just not happy with the seating. According to the numbers, they said they should be 1 or 2. But from what I understand, your athletic director has to fill out some papers to make them games count, for the seeding. You only get so many games that you're eligible for the season when you play outside the division. And Mount Hope seems to think that they got the shaft, man. They are not happy. Camp is
Yeah,
up
I
there
don't.
being the number 5.
Yeah, I don't know. They'll have to figure that out. Again, being happy and not knowing, two different things.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I just got that message in here, and
Mm.
yeah, it's obviously
Yeah, they're
it's
upset.
crazy, man.
Somebody needs to
Pilgrim
tell
and
them.
Pano, man. Pano beating Pilgrim 40-14. Pilgrim being ranked on top of Pano. Pano's like, wait a minute, we won the head to head. But I will congratulate Coach Cook on it. I mean, I will congratulate all the players on this. But realistically, I said the other day that I said, Dave Cato, when you didn't see this coming, but this is all like what Coach Cook built. These are the kids that Coach Cook brought in and know the Coach Cook system. So when these kids graduate and you could build your own program, but congratulations to all the kids up there at Ponteganza, like playing good football, beating Pilgrim. You know a little bit about the Green Machine.
Yeah, I still every now and then I run into a couple of Pontigansit players. For some reason, I'm always running into Grenier. It's always I love that kid, so respectful. Sees me, yells out coach, and make sure he shakes my hand, and we talk football. So and I'm happy for that kid. I'm glad that he's having a sensational year. I'm happy for Rock. I'm happy for all of them. I was there for a short stint. I know the whole, Cook leaving there, parents were upset, but you put that behind you, and they're having a great season. I know how the parents are down there. They all buy right into the program. So, but you're right. This is when a coach gets into a program, it's 3 to 5 years. When you go into a program that's already has its foundation, it's easy to win games. And I'm not saying anything bad about Coach Cato, but when all them seniors leave, then that's when we're gonna find out. Okay, can you build a program? Did you build the young kids to be ready so when these seniors leave? Um, Same thing with EWG. When my group left, okay, now you have to coach. Hopefully, you built the program to get the younger kids ready, setting upon against it. You got your foundation that was already there, and you walked into it. You tweaked it. You put your own spin on it, and you're having positive results. And hopefully, they can continue the winning ways. Because the kids deserve it. And then we'll see what happens in the future. As far as Pilgrim, I'm always hoping they win. I like Coach Blake. Always, and when we talk, it's always football, and um, he's always doing some good things on his home turf. So I enjoy going to his games once in a while. Seeing that, I know he's not happy losing 40-14, but he'll get his kids ready for the playoffs.
No, he's definitely up there inside the wrong one. No, I might have deleted it already, but he's definitely up
Yeah.
there inside the standings.
Yeah, he'll be good, and he'll get he'll turn it around. And if any coach out there could get his team ready for the playoffs and go on a win streak, I've seen him do it plenty of times, so he'll be good.
No, absolutely. The next game was Westerly and West Warwick. Man, what a fight they had. You know, somebody said that they talked to my son Eric Rube and about talking about West Warwick, and they said, Eric Rube said West Warwick the S word, and I was like, I don't know about that. I said I think that they're a good team, and they played West Warwick last night. I said, so are they shit or what? And he
No,
was like,
you
nah, they're actually a good program.
Yeah, West Pennington has that team playing. I've seen them. I've coached against Pennington. I was on the sideline. I mean, up in the stands, seeing them play. He don't have a bad team. He gets them kids ready to play. They're well conditioned. They're well taught. So anybody to sit there and say that about that program, they don't know football. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But West Pennington, no, he's always from North Smithfield to West Warwick. Never has a bad team. He's always putting the best interest of the program, first. So
Bro, how about Portsmouth knocking out Bishop Hendricken 24-21?
I couldn't be happier. And no disrespect to Keith Croft or any um program or any kids that play for that team. But anytime a public school plays a private school in Rhode Island, I'm always going for the public school. We keep saying public schools can't compete with private schools. And as much as we say it, and then all of a sudden you get that win from the private schools. From the public schools. So, I guess it can be done, but it's far. The wins don't come as much as we want them to. So once in a great while, it does happen, but not as much as we want. So shout out to them. I'm glad they gave Hendrick a little bit of a humble pie, but that just means Hendrick ain't losing another game.
Well, yeah, going into the season is definitely a wake up call
Mm.
for Bishop Hendricken, who will be playing Cumberland. So they're gonna be looking to Cumberland better be careful hitting Hendricken after a loss.
If Cumberland's smart, understand Hendrick can be beat. Portsmouth just showed it. So yes, they can give you beat. They do have weaknesses. They are vulnerable to lose. You just have to take advantage of it. And where their weaknesses were against Portsmouth, it's not gonna be the same weaknesses they're gonna have this week, but they can lose. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as if Cumberland's smart, we're talking about Josh Lima, so I'm not too sure about that one. But shout out to Cumberland, man. I got
They always play good. So let's see, let's see what happens. They're always winning games. They're always winning the games that they're supposed to lose. So they're doing something right.
I mean, speaking about always winning games, North Kingstown and Cumberland. Cumberland didn't win this game. North Kingstown put 17 up over Cumberland, and Cumberland gets 7. And then I hear after the game, Cumberland, they didn't want to win that game. They didn't want to be in the Power 4, but they ended up in the Power 4, either whether they wanted it or not. But I find it hard to believe that any program don't want to compete against
No,
Bishop
no.
Hendricken and LaSalle.
No, no. The kids, anybody to say that is disrespecting the players that put the hard effort in all year. Let's go lose the game. Now that's to me. No, I don't believe that. I believe that they played and they just lost. North Kingston was the better team that game. That's all.
Now, the next game is we talked about this earlier. Cranston East over East Greenwich. Shout out to Jimmy Cook. I heard he woke up the next morning. He's like, pinch me. Pinch me.
The kids bought into the program. They bought into it. They officially bought into the program. They officially are following what Coach Cook has put together. And kudos to them. That's what you want, from a young team. He has freshmen starting, freshmen. Not one, not two, not three, not four. He's got multiple freshmen that are starting. I believe he has one senior on that program. It takes 3 to 5 years to build a program. He's in the playoffs, and again, AC, 2 wins. It is what it is. But he's got them kids playing some good football, and they're young. That means next year they're going to be better. The following year, watch out. Just watch out. More kids are going to join. The kids are going to be more experienced. I like what Coach Cook is doing over there at Cranston East.
Coach, you're saying 3 to 5 years. Are schools giving guys 3 to 5 years to be able
If
to
they're
build a
smart,
program?
if they're smart, you would, because you're not gonna. If you're a team that only won 1 or 2 games and your coach leaves and you're bringing in another coach, that coach is not going to rebuild that program in 1 or 2 years. It's just not going to happen. You need multiple years to invest your time, your philosophy, to get to the youth program. Again, we don't talk enough about youth programs. They are the staple of the high school. You know, you have to get these kids playing youth football with the same system. So when they go to the high school, you're not teaching them how to stance. You're not teaching them how to put on your uniform, how to snap up your laces and stuff. They know all that. You're not teaching how to tackle. You're just refreshing. That's why youth programs are important. We should have more of them. Each school should have a
It's
youth program.
it's amazing how many guys say that they have kids that don't even know how to put on the equipment when they come in.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, that's why the youth program is there. Youth program is to teach you how to tackle, teach you how to run, teach you how to breathe, which a lot of people may look at me or look at anybody funny. But there's a difference between running and breathing and running with a football and breathing. It's totally different. I can't coach it. That's why we send players to track and field. Um, all these little things are taught at the youth level, putting on shoulder pads, putting on a cup. If you put on a cup, high school they don't. Putting your mouthpiece in the right way, cutting it, boiling the water, putting in boiled water. All these little things that you don't have to teach at the high school level. How to stance, how to get into a 3-point stance. Why a 2-point stance is different than a 4-point stance. What techniques are. There's a difference between a 3 and a 2. You don't want to have to keep teaching that as freshmen. The kids at the youth program should know that.
There you
Get me
go,
all fired
man.
up.
I know it, yo. Tell them about it. Talk about it. LaSalle shutting out Cranston West. Some people said this was going to be LaSalle's worst year in a long time, and I can't tell. They're up there in the Power Four again.
LaSalle's always there. You just anybody that sit there and say that they're not going to be is like saying Hendricken's not going to be there. LaSalle and Hendricken will always be in the Power Four, top four, and they'll always be competing for our state championship.
My
Always.
boy, my boy Anthony Alejandro. What's up, Anthony? Shout out to Anthony, man. I always said he was gonna make it. Nah, I didn't. I'm lying.
You
But they
alone.
played Middletown. They go up there to Middletown. Their starting quarterback goes down. Now, I wrote a thing the other day, and I said that I think, if the freshman is the future, then maybe Alejandro got to put him in. He went to practice. Alejandro rides the freshman, and he had nothing to do with my article. Say something to me, Anthony, if you want to be a tough guy. Don't be a tough guy to a kid. Anyway, now that I got all that out, Middletown ends up putting 32 up on him. He puts the freshman into the game. At least he did get that game experience. But what do you think about that program? Both them programs.
Middletown, they're always tough, no matter what. Every year, that coaching staff over there, Matt's gonna play some good ball. I like seeing them. They're always competitive. So no matter what, do not circle that team as an easy win. Coventry, I've seen a couple of their games. Yeah, they're young, a little experienced. Alejandro, is putting a good product on the field. He doesn't have a lot of seniors, but he's got some kids with some experience, and he's basically what's the second year as being a head coach. So again, I tell everybody you got to give people 3 to 5 years. So we'll have to see how they perform next year and the year after, and we'll see what his philosophies are. But it's only his second year as a head coach.
They just said, Coach, we want you. Nah, they also said that the truth meter is broken. He's not speaking his truth. And I said, yeah, he is. If he said he's speaking his truth. But, I've been getting a lot of people that says Coach Fortin needs to come to Coventry and save the day. So maybe when Coventry, puts out their ad next season for a new coach, Coach Fortin can apply for it, because my money's on.
Listen, Alejandro's not
Hey,
going nowhere.
don't put the wagon before the horse, and you look bad too.
Yeah,
Just
I'm a little biased.
shh.
I like Alejandro. I'm afraid of Madison. I'm not saying nothing bad about. She's probably looking, going, "You better not, Cliff. You better not." I know, something. I want to see Alejandro. I want to see his third year. I want to see how he builds it. I want to see what he does in the offseason. I want to see this is his first year of him really having 100% control of his program. I want to see what he does next year, if indeed he is back next year.
And what do you mean by this is his first year having 100% control of his program?
Oh, you caught that. Well, he brought it. What he did is he was a smart. I'm gonna say this. Listen to my words. Listen to the words. As a first-time head coach, what he did was very smart. He brought in an experienced coach to help him run the program. He brought in Coach Cook, and Coach Cook helped him because he's got a lot of experience. Alejandro did three things. Number one, brought in an experienced coach to help his program. He learned from an experienced coach, and he had to make decisions as a head coach. And I'm staying with them words right there. Like, that's what I believe in.
What the freak did he learn? He did worse. I'll tell you what, the
Well,
last one to go 2-6 was Stanley Dunbar at Coventry. So no one has went 2-6 since then. But I disagree with everything he said. And I hear from the peoples and stuff. You know what? I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but he's not a head coach. It takes more than being a head coach than what he could provide. And I said it, no one else, but yeah, like you have a good program, and I think Coventry is one of the biggest upsets, the biggest letdowns this season because they should have done a lot better. Yes, I said at the beginning of the year I didn't see a game that they could win, but that wasn't because of talent. They have the talent, but it takes a real coach to be able to pull that talent out of these players, and he wasn't able to do that. He was able to hand it off to Petrarca up the middle. That was his go-to play. You take that away from him, there was nothing left. All
killing
right,
it.
then we'll go on to the next game.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Charahoe and Central Falls. Charahoe has been struggling, small area, tough to get kids over there. Central Falls, another inner city school, and I gotta say, I think RAIL is doing everything they can to protect these city programs. But they're crumbling.
Central Falls is not a D3 program. They're a D4 program.
I agree with
So
you.
they're playing in a division that they have no business playing in. Period.
I'm just kidding, Anthony. I love you, man. Stop it.
Leave Andrew Holland. Wait. How can I say? I used to say his name. Leave
You don't
D
even know how to say his
Hollandro.
name. You don't even know how to say his name. That's my
Well, it's
friend.
Alejandro, but I was calling him D Alejandro, and he was like, "That's not it." So I gotta throw him a little bit of love. I like Alejandro. I'm scared of his girlfriend. She lives not too far from me, so
No, I like him too, and I'm not saying he's a bad coach. The wagons come back to this. I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I just don't think he's a head coach, and I didn't come to that conclusion all by myself. Or I don't hate on coaches just to hate on coaches. I just don't think he's what it takes. And it's proven year in and year out. But I don't know. It's up to them to. It has nothing to do with me. The game we're watching now, Mount Hope, North Providence High School, 14-6. Mount Hope wins. Mount Hope is not too happy today, and I talked about it earlier. They believe they should have the number 1 or number 2 seed.
well, don't they get the points for winning today? So that may change.
Well, this was the game the other day. There ain't no games
Oh,
on
all right.
Sundays. You can't play high school games on
Oh, that's right.
Sundays.
Sunday. So we'll see we'll see what they do. Again, I don't know how the rules are. I don't know the points and stuff like that. So they'll have to figure it out. But I want to say, shout out to North Providence. Something they've been a bad program for a while, and then all of a sudden they made a coaching change. They won the Super Bowl. They've been playing some good football. They're up in D3. They're competitive. I think they're in the playoffs. So shout out to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. North Providence came a long way since they got their new field.
Yeah.
Last year they won,
Yeah. So
and this year now we have the new we have the updated rankings for the Division 2 playoffs, and let me see. All right, nope, they're not up on the screen yet. Of course not.
Hmm. But listen, Mikey, I gotta take off. I gotta get going. I just
Oh
wanted
shit,
to jump on
Anthony's on the other line. Anthony's
there.
calling him.
Nah, he knows. Alejandro knows. I love that
No,
dude, and I
I'm
wish
just
him the best.
messing with you. It's all fun. It's all fun. I think he should be the next coach of Boston College.
Would you stop?
But
I
I
will.
Coach Fulton, man. Hopefully I'll see you soon. You know what I mean?
Hopefully,
Hopefully we can get you, coaching again because that's what he wants to do.
coming back
You
to
know.
2025. I'm coming back. I'll be back next year. We'll see where I'm at, and we'll raise some hell.
All right, there you go. It's all fun. Coach Fulton, check out the Raiders podcast.
The
The
Raider
Raider
Fan
Fan
Podcast.
podcast.
Listen, it's the Raider Fan Podcast. Go on TikTok to the Raider Fan Podcast. It's on YouTube. It's the largest podcast for a West Coast team on the East Coast. So check it out. The Raider Fan Podcast.
There you go. Check it out. Raider Fan podcast. The biggest on the East Coast, they said, for a West Coast program.
Yeah, which ain't saying much because it's a West Coast team, but I'll take it.
All right, Coach Fulton, man. Much love, man.
All right,
Stay
I'll
out of
talk to you soon.
trouble. We'll talk to you soon.
Let's go Raiders.
There we have Coach Fulton. We had some fun up here. But now we're looking at the Division Two. I just got the update. We're looking at the Division Two quarterfinal rounds, November 8th and 9th. SK plays number 8, Middletown. That should be a good game. I mean, SK has been hard to beat all season. They played a lot of programs in Division Two, and then at game 2 as well, also November 8th and 9th, you're going to have number 4, East Providence, taking on number 5, Lincoln. That would be at the higher seed, so that one will be home for East Providence. Can East Providence put another shutout out on the board? Now, it's playoff time. Anything can happen. Game 3, West Warwick and Woonsocket. See, we had these all a little bit. Well, were they what we had? Yeah, no, we had these right. West Warwick and Woonsocket. West Warwick being a very tough program, had a great game against Westerly the other night. Lost that one 26-29. But them two programs went at it. And then game 4, number 2 seed, Westerly Bulldogs taking on number 7, Moses Brown. The winner of the SK Middletown game will advance to game 5, playing the winner of the East Providence Lincoln game. The winner of the West Warwick Woonsocket game will advance to game 6, playing the winner of the Westerly Moses Brown game. SK and Middletown, SK has been strong. Can Middletown knock off the number 1 seed in Division 2? If so, Middletown will move on, play the winner of East Providence Lincoln. But we will see. West Warwick and Woonsocket. Who is going to win the battle of the W's? That is going to be a great, great game. Division 3 quarterfinal rounds. Good. You can actually see that. All right. The Division 3 quarterfinal rounds. Who do we have? Classical and Cranston East. Oh my God, Jimmy. Say it ain't so. He must be like, oh my God. Don't forfeit the game. Go out there and play that game, man. Number 1, Classical is going to play Cranston East. Imagine Cranston East knocks off Classical. Would that be something to see? Then we got Rogers and Mount Hope. Now, we said Mount Hope is pissed. Mount Hope feels they should be where Classical is right now. But Mount Hope being the number 5 seed taking on Rogers. The winner of that will play the winner of the Classical East Providence game. Then you have Pontigansett and North Providence, the 3 and the 6. The winner of that will play the winner of the Pilgrim Johnston High School game. And then we have Division 4. Narragansett is going to play North Smithfield, and Smithfield will play Juanita Sanchez. Makes the playoffs, man. Shout out to Juanita. Juanita Sanchez making the playoffs for the winner of the Narragansett North Smithfield game will play the winner of the Smithfield Juanita Sanchez game. Then you have Davies, Career and Tech, and Tiverton. We have too many teams making the playoffs. How do we have 8 teams in Division 4 making the playoffs? Like, choke me now. And Situate EWG. The winner of Situate EWG, which should be Situate, and the winner of the Davies Tiverton game, which should be Davies, and the winner of the Smithfield Juanita Sanchez game, and it should be Smithfield, and the winner of the Narragansett North Smithfield game, as close as I am to people on the staff, it should very well be Narragansett. Now, do I want to see Narragansett? No, I don't. I want to see Narragansett be knocked out of this because they don't belong in Division 4, just like Pontigansett a couple years ago didn't belong in Division 4 as well. When Narragansett won back-to-back Super Bowls, wasn't that long ago. It was like the year before Pono played Coach Fulton in EWG. The 2 years before that, Narragansett wins not one, but 2 Super Bowls. So that's basically, that's where we have it, people. Unbelievable. Classical, Cranston East, Rogers and Mount Hope, Pono and North Providence, and Pilgrim and Johnston. And Division 2 goes like this. SK at Middletown. EP will beat Lincoln. I'm telling you that now. And I'm almost ready to go out on a limb and say East Providence shuts out Lincoln. But then when they get to the next round, that might be as far as East Providence goes. Yeah, that might definitely as far as EP goes. West Warwick and Woonsocket, I gotta put my money on West Warwick. Sorry, Charlie. I gotta put my money on West Warwick in this situation, but I bet Eric Rube will go with Woonsocket. I don't know what Eric Rube has against West Warwick, but he's always picking against them. Westerly and Moses Brown, they played a couple weeks ago. Westerly shut out Moses Brown, and then EP did it a week earlier. And then we have over here NK with the bye. NK's first game will be November 15th. They will play the winner of the Portsmouth Cranston West game. Central also will wait the winner of the Burrillville Barrington game. Now, Central and Burrillville, I already said they matched up yesterday, and Burrillville was the more dominant program who really brought it to Central. Different sides of that coin, depends on who you talk to. But shout out to Coach Ferraro, Coach Joannis. I even said a couple years ago, I remember when it was Brandon DeCharo and Jake Gelinas. And then these 2 young guys were starting to come up to Burrillville Youth Program, Jack DeCharo and Logan Gelinas. And now I look at these 2 kids a few years back were very, very small in size. But now these kids are balling out, and Logan Gelinas very well be the best quarterback in Rhode Island high school football right now. I say it's between Landon Husero as well as Logan Gelinas. And big shout out to number 8 over there at St. Ray's, Nelson Martinez. Someone that very well could have been one of the top quarterbacks from Rhode Island high school football. I seen him visiting up there at UMass Dartmouth. Oops, sorry about that. Shout out to Nelson Martinez over there at St. Ray's. And I think the only chance that St. Ray's is going to have in that situation to beat LaSalle or beat Bishop Hendricken, it's going to be with Nelson Martinez. To Shad Brown, I think, I think if you put Tashad as a cornerback, as a slot wide receiver, I think that's where Tashad is going to get college opportunities. But how many quarterbacks in college? Let's look at the stats. How many quarterbacks in college are 5'8" or under? Not many. They're all 6 and change or more. I mean, I definitely think Tashad would be better used, in the slot position, and put Nelson Martinez in the QB position, and that's how you're gonna beat LaSalle. You're not gonna beat LaSalle with Tashad Brown, you know, quarterbacking the ball. Shout out to him. Shout out to his dad. You know, don't mean no disrespect about this. This is just one person. It's not one. This is about a bunch of people's opinion, but this is basically my opinion. I just don't think that they are going to beat LaSalle with what they have. They struggled against Tolman. They struggled against Barrington. I mean, yes, St. Ray's is a young program with maybe 5 seniors. But I said it. You win that game with Nelson Martinez on the center. And I can't even bring up any more images because my phone just died that I was using. But that's how you're going to beat LaSalle and St. Ray's. You ain't going to beat them basically any other way. So, I mean, you'll be that's what I would do, but appreciate everybody. I'm glad we was able to get this all worked out, man. But I think Nelson Martinez, that's the way that St. Ray's is gonna, beat LaSalle, or if they go to the next round, beat Hendricken. But Hendricken still gotta beat whoever they gotta play. Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm all right.
Welcome to the show, man. Steve, right?
Yeah,
What do you think about the playoff format?
I think the format's great. I think what Rill's doing right now is a joke.
Absolutely. Like Real has been I'll tell you what, when I heard about the format early on, and week 2, week 3, I wasn't too happy about it, but they said to me, give it to week 8 and then criticize it. The only criticize I have now is how they put the points together at the end of the year with everybody jumping around. Is that what you're talking about by a joke over at Real?
No, so what happened with Mount Hope was
Yes, absolutely.
they so we have a series of emails. We have a chain of emails from Tom Marcello because we needed clarification on the Stafford Connecticut game and how it was going to be counted. They sent us all the documentation that we were going to be getting D2 points for that. When we got wind that the paperwork hadn't been filed on time, Coach sent another email clarifying, like, hey, this new process, we didn't know that there was a form that had to be filed. They said just get it in by the end of business day. I'm just confirming that we are in fact getting the D2 points. And Marcelo returned the email saying, yep, everything will be corrected, and we'll be sending out a mass email and posting it on the real site. So everybody can understand the formula moving forward. Fast forward to today, they called a meeting this morning explaining that they were going to have an e-board meeting to vote on whether or not the paperwork situation that I just referenced would be allowed or not allowed. Mount Hope was never invited to represent themselves. The only people that were at that meeting were Pilgrim, Ponagansett, and Dino from Shea. We were there unrepresented.
Unreal. And you guys fought all season long. What a great program you guys had this year. Shout out to Shane Parker, and we talked about him earlier today. Shane waited for the right job, and Mount Hope was definitely it. No, I agree. That's what I heard. I heard that they didn't put the right paperwork in. I know Central High School is another team that didn't put the athletic director didn't, send in the correct paperwork.
That's
So are
neither
they
here nor there. If that were actually the case and the reason they were shutting it down, we would have received 0 points,
true?
not 2.2 points. So now what they're doing is they're just trying to save face.
Now, can you still appeal it Monday or Tuesday?
We're contacting an attorney right now. We're trying to figure out how we can file an injunction.
Yeah, that's Mount Hope definitely balled their butt off all season long. Definitely a dark horse.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the real problem: is they have a really nice system and a good thing going, in my opinion, and they're going to blow it up to appease the few and not just follow through with what they said to us. If the answer 2 months ago had been, yeah, you know what, the paperwork wasn't in on time, so that game's not going to count, we would have known. But how does the assistant executive director send a chain of emails confirming that those things were going to change in our favor and then pull the rug out from under us when we're not even there to represent ourselves? Sounds a little crazy to me.
Absolutely. And, Mount Hope should have had a representative there to defend themselves. If Pilgrim had somebody there, Ponaganta had somebody there, it's only right that the team in question would have somebody there.
And we're being voted on by the two teams that it's going to benefit the most.
Now, what did Dino? What was he doing there? Because he's a Pawtucket athletic director.
Not sure.
That's a good question. He has no part of that, unless there's something I don't know about Dino. But as far as I know,
if that information's incorrect, I apologize, but that's the information I have.
Well, Dino could be the athletic director on that board, so hopefully we can make this right. People can call RIL to voice their concern over this. If Mount Hope does deserve to be there and it was a clerical error, like, we can't fault them. And they said they have the information saying that they put the right paperwork in, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, absolutely, man. So we're going to pay attention to this situation and see what happens. Is RIL going to make this right? My guess is they're not. My guess is because they never do. They don't want to. They're not going to stand on face. But I hope they do. So if not, you guys are prepared to file an injunction.
I don't know if we're prepared yet, but we're working on it.
Awesome, man. I've been watching Mount Hope all season long. Some great players over there. So I wish you guys, nothing but success. You know what I mean? If there's anything that I could do to help you guys along the way, you've got my information. Inbox me, send me a message, and I'm always willing to talk about it if it helps the kids, if it helps the programs. We've been doing this for 8 years now. So yeah, good luck, Steve. Thank you for tuning in, and go Mount Hope,
Thanks,
absolutely. I'm with rooting for them all the way. All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy.
All right. There we have it, man. Mount Hope not feeling too good about this situation, saying they put the information into Stevie Marcel up there. He sent it back. You got nothing to worry about. Pilgrim, Blizzy Blake was at the meeting. Ponaganta had someone at the meeting. And Dino. Now, if Blake wants to respond to this, if someone tags Blake, you want to respond to what they have said? I don't have my cell phone handy, but if someone could reach out to Blake and see if he wants to respond to this, will they file an injunction? I know there was talk about it. They don't know if they're willing to go forward with an injunction, but you had Pano there, Pilgrim, you had Dino, and I'm guessing Dino was the athletic director. Maybe he's responsible for them situations. Sometimes the athletic director has responsibility, but we have the tag at the bottom of the screen. I don't, you know what? Let me put this game back on, and I'm going to go get my charger, and I'm going to reach out to Blizzy Blake before I end the stream and see if Blake wants to come on and defend himself.
And I think I've
Yellow,
seen
no,
this
five.
All right, so just give me 1 second to get this figured out. Come on.
5-yard face mask.
5 yards from the end of the run.
And they'll march off another 5 yards for North Providence as they get ready to take the ball here on offense to start the second half. They won the opening coin toss, elected to defer, and so they'll get it going here to start the third quarter.
Now they ended the half in some tight formations, some double tight end sets, and they come out here with 4 wide receivers in the game and a running back flanking the quarterback.
And off to the fullback, looking for room around the right side. You can hear the wind blowing out there. I guess a good thing is both of these teams like to keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. North Providence is a little bit more of a balanced attack. In fact, Coach talked about how, one of their keys to winning this game is to stay balanced and to be able to hit them from all different angles. Obviously, Mount Hope really just likes to pound it in the middle. That's their game plan. So we'll see how much the wind affects Mount Hope, trying to air it out a little bit as a change up to these to the Allards running left and right.
2-yard pickup on first down. Now the pitch on second down, looking for some room and going nowhere. In fact, there'll be a loss on the play as the runner stopped at the 30-yard line. So a loss of 4 on the play, be third down and 12.
Yeah, that's Caden Ray, number 7. Talked about him out at the DB spot, trying to get out to the outside there, but nothing doing. If anything, I think that Mount Hope is doing a great job with pursuit angles with their defensive ends and their linebackers, and North Providence not really able to get to the outside.
So here we go. Third down now. Under center, Jaden Allards takes the handoff, rolling out, looking downfield, then stops, going to decide to run it, and he picks up the first down. And then finally stopped at the 46-yard line. So didn't see anything downfield, tucked it in, and got the job done.
Yeah, did a great job to give a little head fake there, a little pump, hesitation, and make it work on his own here. As you see, really settles there off tackle and then gets back to it. That freezes the defensive lineman. He's able to pick up the first. I'm looking around for his brother. I don't think Michael Allard has been in the game the last 2 snaps. At least he hasn't been in the backfield.
15-yard pickup on that play gives the Cougars a first down on their own 47-yard line. Now a handoff. Maxwell Washington with a run. First time that we've mentioned his name tonight. He picks up 5 on that.
Yeah, Maxwell Washington has been in the game. Caden Ray, number 7, has been in the backfield thus far on this drive for North Providence. So just interesting. Wonder what's going on with Michael Allard, number 22. But that'll bring up a second and about 6.
So we'll check the sideline out. Maybe an injury to Mike Allard. Second down. And Jaden Allard looking for room, and he pulls his way down inside of Mount Hope territory.
So we're getting some word that Jaden's brother, Michael, may be injured on the sideline, maybe a little bit banged up in the first half. They're going to rest him right now, but you can see the athleticism of younger brother Jaden, who lived a little bit in the shadows last year, played some wide receiver, played some DB, now the starting quarterback, first-year mainstay starter, and showing that he's got some athleticism himself.
Mike Allard, you see him there on the bench being worked on.
Looks like something with his right leg. They're working low, calf to ankle. Jaden Allard, little brother in the game, tossing to the right side. That's number 20, Maxwell Washington.
Emerson. That's going to be from the previous spot.
Penalty called.
Okay.
Let's see what the call is.
Hold it. Offense. 10-yard penalty. From the
And
cruiser
they'll
spot.
bring that ball back. So North Providence going
First down.
in reverse here.
Yeah, with Michael Allard out of the game, I really think that they need to play a clean game, really pick up 4 or 5 yards of carry. They can't afford this, kind of the same way that Mount Hope has afforded to have big penalties and overcome them thus far. I think this will be tough for them to overcome.
And we had some movement along the line, and they'll blow that play dead as the flag flies.
66.
Let's see which way this is going to go.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
I'll back it up another 5 yards as Mike Allard over on the sidelines having his right foot looked at.
Yeah, so a bad time for these penalties as Michael Allard's on the sideline. A little bit of an injury. Looks like to me, when you keep your shoulder pads on, you're getting that much work. You haven't worked your way.
So we just had somebody from, let me turn this volume down. We just had, I would say a representative from Mount Hope just come on the podcast and say that there was a meeting this morning at RAIL. Let me turn this down a little.
Pass, little screen play, and going nowhere after the ball is completed is Adrian Franco.
Screenplay off tackle. Franco really wrapped up. Great job. I've said it a million times this game.
So we had a representative come on just a little while ago from Mount Hope, basically saying that there was a meeting this morning about the numbers. Pilgrim was there. Ponagansett was there. Dino was there. But nobody from Mount Hope was at the game. I mean, was invited to the meeting. Mount Hope said that they should be the number 1 seed. They said that when Tommy Marcello said that they didn't submit the paperwork, you could send it to me. The coaching staff, Coach Parker, I think he said, sent the paperwork into Marcello, and Marcello alluded that they was all set. Now come and find out that they're not all set. They're not going to be the number 1 seed. They said there's talk about possibly hiring an attorney for an injunction. We reached out to Coach Simpson, since it said he was at the meeting today. I got to plug this in. Hang on, people. Saying that there was a meeting today, that there was someone there. Coach Simpson was there. There's a representative from Ponagansett. Boy, that kid don't look too good. There's a representative from Ponagansett there, as well as Dino. And Mount Hope seems to think that they got the shaft on all this. But I wanted to give a few minutes to see if Coach Simpson wants to speak about this. But Mount Hope said they have all the paperwork in order. That they have the emails from Marcello explaining that everything was taken care of. And now here we have it. You have Mount Hope, the number 5 seed, and they said they should have been the number 1 or number 2 seed. Incredible. That these things can be screwed up so much. Now, if Tommy Marcello, in fact, there is emails from Tommy Marcello telling Mount Hope, listen, send in the paperwork. Mount Hope sends in the paperwork. This is all what Mount Hope is saying, and we'll cut up the pot where we had the representative from Mount Hope come on and say this, and he said it's just not right at all. We are being screwed. We should have the number 1, number 2 seed, and RAIL is playing with us. So you can hit the link at the bottom if you want to come on and say something about this. Yeah, it's amazing. But I'm going to go back to this game, and I'm going to send Coach Blake, another message and see if we can get Coach Blake up on here.
everything they can not to get back in this game on this drive. And for some reason, they still have the ball, basically because Mount Hope bailed them out. But they'll dig themselves in another hole that figure out if they get out of. This is going to bring up a second and looks like 20 at least. Franco, you see there on the replay, he will run you over. That's what I would be. Some downhill running by Franco, not right now, not on second and 20 on those medium downs.
Well, passes tonight have been few and far between. Let's see what Huskies come up with here out of the Cougars. And a little razzle dazzle, and doesn't produce any results, as Caden Barr was the one who ended up with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, that's that double reverse speed sweep to the left to Caden Ray. Caden Barr, 27, takes it to the right side.
And I believe back into the game now is Mike Allard.
Yep. You want this play to hit to the outside, but 77 does a great job getting inside in the backfield to disrupt all of that. And that's Benjamin Martell, the big 77.
Back to pass. Allard wants to throw, lets it go, and almost intercepted on that play. He overthrew his intended receiver, who I believe was number 7, Caden Ray.
Yeah, Allard to Caden Ray, targeting him. Ray makes no attempt at the ball whatsoever. You can see here, not a bad throw. Sets up, goes to his second option. Ray's right there, just doesn't even attempt to catch the ball, and that's exactly how to let the ball hit the ground.
All right, 4th down here now for North Providence.
Looked like maybe some miscommunication, like he didn't think it was thrown to him, or he thought he was going to get hit.
Weston Cooper back at his own 35-yard line will punt this one away, and he's got the wind at his back. Gets his foot into this one. That'll bounce. Fielded. And a return of about 10 yards on the play. Evan Roberts with a return.
Special teams tackle number 1, Jaden Texera, and number 20, Maxwell Washington.
Well, there's a chance here for Mount Hope to kind of seal this off. These games can be won pretty quickly in the third quarter because the offenses aren't as high powered. They can't score quickly. So if they can go up by 2 scores, they're already up by 8. So that's a long one. If they can go up by 2 scores here and put together one of those impressive drives, North Providence really have their backs.
Well, I couldn't get in touch with Blake Simpson, but yeah, not many people are talking about Mount Hope, that's for sure. They definitely had some tough years in the past. Shane Parker comes in, turns it around. It's been 5, 6, 7 years since Mount Hope has had a team like they have now, and they have a chance to go deep into the playoffs. So from what they're saying, that they talked to Tommy Marcello over at RAIL, and he said it shouldn't be a problem. And now he says that there was a meeting today with Pilgrim, with Ponagansett, and the Pawtucket athletic director was there. And they basically, Mount Hope basically came out of that meeting with they weren't even there, but they had the number, where's 76? He's huge. They had the number 5 seed, which they're not happy at all. But look at some of the kids on this team. How about Tyler Reinhardt and Zach Borges, 2 freshmen that are going to be there for 3 more seasons after this, and they can only get better. Tyler is actually, one of the leading wide receivers on the Mount Hope program. He's leading in receptions. He's leading in yards. And they say he's also the number 1 kick returner in Division 3, number 2 in the state. And this is why Max Preps is so important. I tell people, Max Preps, put your player stats on Max Preps, and coaches say, I don't care about Max Preps. No, but your players do. You selfish ass. And it also says Zach has 3 touchdowns from Mount Hope. And the second lead in Russia for the team. A couple of the sophomores, Nick Rogers, Brody Cavallari. I might have even said that name wrong. How about Nick being a two-way starter? Like, these two-way players, freaking believable. You could be a defensive back and a wide receiver. Playing both sides of the ball. And how about Brody, huh? Leading the team in tackles. Brody is also ranked 5th in tackles in Division 3. So shout out to this program. And you can't say enough about senior JJ the Bull Pimentel. Is a number 2 D3 in Russian and number 3 in the state. And this was, I got some of this information. So I'm sure over 600 yards now. But it also says Mount Hope has 3,000-yard rushes in its 29-year history. One being Mark Reinhardt in 95, Mike Borges in 08, and Brock Pacheco in 22. And all these guys have kids on the team now. Imagine that. These were long-time Huskies, man. Shout out to the Huskies. Yo, that got me amped up. I love this game, man. And I love doing the podcast. And I love talking to y'all. A lot of you people have so much hate about me, and you really have no reason to be hating. Because honestly, like, I do this on my own dime. People say, oh, we're going to send you a donation. We're going to send you a Cash App. Like, I have, like, a cheap Toyota car invested in all the equipment that I have here, between cameras, all off my own dime. And when people criticize about what I do, and I was like, wow, crazy, because you can't even, like, give me $2 for a cup of coffee. Like, and a lot of people say, we're going to donate. And I'm 8 years in, and I still do it. And we talk about what's right. People are going to hate. They're going to hate all they want. But you can hate all you want. Because I'll always talk about I'll always talk about what's right. Like when I talk about we shouldn't have women in boys' sports, in men's sports. We're turning our men into little girls here. We're turning our girls into men. You know what I mean? And this is a lot of what the Democrats, we call them Diddycrats, because if you look at Kamala Harris, every rally that lady had, all the people involved in the P. Diddy situation, Usher, Cardi B, Beyonce. Beyonce is accused of mixing drinks, but that's another story for another day. This week we're going to talk about a debate over fairness in women's sports, because the landscape in women's sports has a lot going on, and we got to stick up for the girls. You know what I mean? Like, I don't rock with that transgender, and transgender should have no rights. You have no right to say you're a girl if you're not biologically a girl, or a boy if you're not biologically a boy. You know what I mean? So you ain't going to get that from me, and I think the schools are coward for, even RAIL for what they are doing, stepping down, dumbing this stuff all down. And it's crazy because this debate in Rhode Island by the organizations like RIDE and RAIL, also Rhode Island Interscholastic League, absolutely, they raised a lot of concern amongst parents, athletes, advocates. Where's the fair competition? Mr. Kennedy said when his Uncle Ted wrote that bill, it was to protect women. Now it plays against women. Now it just hurts the female athlete, and someone has to step up and protect them, because your school department isn't, your superintendent isn't, Your teachers just wanted that 25% increase that they got when they passed all this. Pay attention in your circle before they hurt you. Our girls are under attack. Are they not worth sticking up for? Bob Caradillo of Western Rhode Island has argued that allowing biological males to compete in women's sports, it creates an uneven playing field. It poses a lot of risk to the safety and fairness of these girls. When are we going to do something? When it's too late? When the girls get hurt? Oh, Patriot tied up at 10-10. Go figure. But Bob has traveled around the state, speaking on like every podium at all school committees. In middle and high school athletes are increasingly feeling the repercussions of these policies, which compromise girls' sports. So we're going to talk about that and more. Is Mount Hope going to get justice, or is this the final blow for them? Are they going to be the 5th seed and have to get mad and fight? It is what it is. Or Monday or Tuesday, are we going to wake up and see that the alignment again has changed? Let me know what you all think about that. I appreciate all of you, man. I appreciate everybody. Thank you, Rhode Island. Thank you to all the parents, man. You all make it worthwhile. Wins, not everybody. The older coaches. They want to cry. They want to go to these RIIL meetings, and they want to cry. We're not competitive. We can't do this. I can't be in. What are we doing here?
Oh, he wilding right now.
Stay out here. Rhode Island, stand up, man. I'm trying to put on for my city.
Football in Rhode Island, bro.
I'm trying to put on.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy.
We don't do no talking. We know what they do for the view.